Welcome to the Loaded Cannon, Arsenal's first dropped point of the season. Look, any analysis of this game can be summed up in one sentence. If you can't win, don't lose. That's what we saw today. That's why it's the thumbnail. And when you say that, when you say if you can't win, don't lose, what that's telling you is that it's not being naive in football. So often you'll see teams just going after the 3 points and then you end up with nothing. But the thing is, I agree with that. I think I've really thought about this myself since the game has finished, and I agree with it mostly today. I feel like it's the manager's choice, isn't it? When you are down to 10 men, for example, you assess the situation. Clearly, if that's a game against, I don't know, bottom of the league and they've got no fight in them, no ability to them, for example, then you turn around and say, no, we can still win this. So, you're not thinking if you can't win. It was clear. Mikel Arteta today, he decided, or he concluded in his own mind, that the risk of defeat was too great. So he felt like, I have to go for that if I can't win, don't lose approach. And that's the thing that's just playing on my mind a little bit. If Arsenal said, no, we're still going to try and win this game, to me, does it become a 50-50 game? Does it become maybe a 60-40 in Brighton's favour? I think on balance, Mikel Arteta got it right, but I can't shake the feeling I would have liked us to have shown a little bit more ambition, even after going down to 10 men. The one thing that I thought was interesting was that we get the red card and then we get a substitution ready. That sub is Trossard for Calafiori. Now, that's what Mikel Arteta has decided to do when we've gone down to 10 men and we're 1-0 up. Nothing changes momentum in games like goals. So that substitution wasn't actually made before Brighton scored their goal. I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just give it a few minutes, give it 2 or 3 minutes and just see whether Brighton change their approach now that they've equalised. Maybe they'll be less ambitious, sit back a little bit. And if that is the case, perhaps you don't have to make that substitution that soon. Perhaps you can say, all right, let's take advantage of the fact that Brighton have just equalised. They might just shut up shop a little bit. Teams are always vulnerable after in the 5 or 10 minutes after they score a goal. They might just say, hold on a second, let's take advantage of that phase in the game, because you're not going to get that many phases in the game. And I just thought there were little moments where I felt like Arteta could have thought, let me just try and show a little bit more ambition. But his mind was made up. As soon as that red card, happened, then he decided, I want the draw. And I feel like we could have shown a little bit more ambition. On balance, he got it right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to start criticising Arteta for that because, it's a tough situation to be in. But we're at home. I felt like he could have taken a little bit more of a risk. Ultimately, it's 3 points you're going for there. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you feel like you would have liked to have seen Arteta show a little bit more ambition? I'm not saying, go and stick a striker on and be naive about it, but there's that fine balance, and I feel like he was just more on the defensive side of that. On the other hand, someone might turn around and say, look at Man United against Brighton last week. They're a team that is naive. They're not a team that is quite as smart as Arteta's Arsenal, and that's what you get. You go and concede that injury time goal that makes you lose the game, whilst Arsenal, in a tougher situation with a man down, came out of it with a point at least. So it's a tough one. On balance, I feel like a little bit more ambition is what I expect to see from Arsenal Football Club at home. That's what I've been brought up on, and that's what I like to see. If he had done that and we had lost, I'd like to think that I wouldn't be sat here criticising him. I'd like to think I'd be saying, do you know what? Fine, fair enough. He tried to find the balance. Sometimes you get it wrong, sometimes you get it right. But look, who knows? Let's talk about the red card. Declan Rice, in all honesty, there's no complaints from me. I think, was it Van Hekken, the Brighton defender, was really, really clever. And you know what? It's every single moment in every game of the season where you have to be on job and you have to be thinking. If he doesn't pretend that he wants to take the free kick soon, Declan Rice doesn't do anything and that situation doesn't play out. And this is why, as a footballer, you've got to sort of be doing everything in every moment. Every time the ball goes out off the pitch, you stick your hand up and appeal for it. You always have to give the referee, the opposition, anyone, you have to give them something to think about. Even if when you decide to sort of pretend that you want to take that free kick a little bit sooner, it just prevents that man sprinting back into position. At least it keeps him a bit closer to you so you can make sure that the opposition don't get their shape. And that's at best. At worst for that's at a minimum. At a maximum, what you get is what Declan Rice did. He couldn't resist trying to deprive that quick free kick being taken. And the Brighton player has played it to perfection there. On the commentary, they made the point that he didn't actually pick anyone out. He's not actually thinking, oh, there's a player I'm trying to hit with this pass. It was all for Declan Rice, and Declan Rice took the bait. He will learn from it. I'm not going to go crazy at Declan Rice here. It's the first red card of his career, and a really silly way to get sent off. But, it's just the way it goes, man. It completely changed the game. I'd rather look at Declan Rice than the referee, in all honesty, today. Yes, the referee, I have a lot of grievances with him today, but he got that decision right. I'm going to be honest there, because it doesn't matter if you nick the ball away a tiny bit or pick it up and boot it out of the stadium. The fact of the matter is you've stopped that quick free kick being taken. So if an Arsenal player was to do that next week, I'd be saying well done. The thing that I'm really, really gutted about, who's our next game after the international break? Tottenham. Declan Rice. I imagine he'll be banned for that. I don't even think we've got a right of appeal with 2 yellows. So Declan Rice out for Tottenham away. That is absolutely if there's one player I would say is, first on the team sheet, Declan Rice would be up there. And the fact that he's now banned for that game, I'm gutted, because who's the next person we rely on to do that? It's going to be Jorginho and Thomas Partey. Jorginho doesn't have the athleticism and doesn't cover the ground like Declan Rice does. And Thomas Partey today, for me, I thought he had a stinker. I really, really thought in so many moments he was so poor. I don't trust him. Tottenham away, I just don't trust him. And also Timber went off, Zinchenko came on. He's another player I don't trust. Tottenham away. And we saw he almost cost us when João Pedro had that headed chance in the second half. So it's not just bad news today, it's also bad news for our next game. Is it 1 point gained or 2 points dropped today? It's very weird how people analyse this. I'm analysing it from the point of view that we threw the game away. We were 1-0 up. Everything was in control. Declan Rice does something silly. So, of course, from that position, it's 2 points dropped. You cannot deny that. Certain people try and spin it and say it's 1 point gained based on the fact that we held on with 10 men. But why were we down to 10 men in the first place? It's for that reason that we went down to 10 men and we were 1-0 up. That, for me, is definitely 2 points dropped. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Is it 1 point gained or 2 points dropped? On the plus side, undefeated still, but I have to say, I'm not hearing that full-time whistle thinking it's the ref's fault. I'm not thinking, oh, well done for not conceding. I'm thinking it was our fault. Let's be really honest about that. It was our fault. We had it under control, and it was through our decision-making, through silly moments from us, that we didn't walk away with the 3 points today. Even Gabriel, for Brighton's goal, brilliant pass from Lewis Dunk, but after that we still had the opportunities of dealing with it. And Gabriel, I think he can get to the ball. I think he can do so much better in that situation, but he almost allows the Brighton player to get his body in the way of the ball. I think he should be doing more there. I wouldn't really put any blame on David Raya for parrying the shot back into the danger zone. I really don't think he can do much about that. The ball comes at him very quickly. But anyway, I'm disappointed. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And the next game, massive one. And we might have some massive names missing. Let's see how that goes. See you next time. Take care.